to bring 150,000 people to this area.
I think we're going to be prepared like there is. And we want to make sure our community is prepared, our people that live here, as well as the visitors that come in. We want to show well. It's not really an event to be fearful of. Come around on Saturday or maybe Sunday afternoon while they're in town, while we've been given this great opportunity. And then if you want to stay home, Monday might be that day to stay home.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. Today, we're joined by Christie Graham, the Executive Director of Tourism here in Russellville.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome on.
Thank you.
So let's just get straight to it. You know, the the elephant in the room, the eclipse, that is, you're like kind of the face of it. You and the mayor, you're the people I always see online talking about it, really promoting it and telling people what to expect.
Yes, we are.
So how did this, when did you realize, I'll ask that question first. When did you realize that the eclipse was coming?
Okay, so I was at Governor's Conference 2 years ago and was sitting in a session, and they just started talking about it. And I knew that it was like coming near us, but I guess I didn't understand at that time how close it was coming. And so they mentioned that I might need porta potties on the interstate, and that caught my eye, or my ear actually, that day. And I was like, what in the world? So I started looking into it and researched and just started figuring out what happened in 2017 at the other eclipse, and just saw, okay, we really need to get ready for this. So just from there, it really started then and hasn't stopped.
Yeah. Has it been stressful, I imagine?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
But there's days, yes. I feel like I'm past the real stressful, like I feel we're really organized and we're prepared right now. So I'm feeling good about it. Today, as we're recording this, we're like 32 days out. So
32 days. Mm-hmm. Wow. I've talked to, everyone knows about, maybe not everybody, a lot of people know about the eclipse at this point. In fact, I learned the other day there's people that don't know about it, specifically like the Hispanic community, since we do a podcast with them. I think Obi was telling me that he thinks that still a lot of, he's talking to people almost on a weekly basis that don't know, haven't heard about it yet. And that's crazy to me.
It is crazy. And we're going to have a flyer go out in every mailbox within the city of Russellville. And I do know that it will be translated. So hopefully they will be able to maybe learn there and where they can get some more resources. So hopefully that'll help as well.
Absolutely. But a lot of people I've spoken to, I'm sure you've experienced this too. People there's almost like a sense of disbelief, like their doubt. Like, is it really going to bring 150,000 people to this area?
I think I get that question almost daily. So yes, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I do know, and what the mayor and I try to tell people, is we're going to be prepared like there is. Because if you know the mayor and myself, we like to do things well and with excellence, and we want to make sure our community is prepared, our people that live here, as well as the visitors that come in, we want to show well. So we're going to be prepared like it is, and if 30,000 come in, we're really prepared. So yes, we don't know. We don't know either, so we're just moving forward.
Well, I saw some photos the other day of like out in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, from an eclipse a few years ago, and the highways were just
packed afterwards.
Packed.
That's our biggest scare, really and truly, if you were to ask me like what I'm most fearful about. And not really fearful, that's not a right word, because I'm not fearful. We're prepared. But the biggest maybe thing that makes us lose sleep at night is that exit. So it's kind of like a Razorback football game, and you trickle in, and then when the game's over, it's like mass exodus, right? So that's going to be the same concept, no matter if it's 30,000 or 150,000. It's going to be that, and the interstate's going to get backed up. And so the research we saw from Casper, Wyoming and Hopkinsville, Kentucky was the worst thing, was the exit. When people tried to come in and do day trips instead of stay in the night, those day trippers had to head back home, and it caused, so if your trip was maybe a 4-hour trip, it looked more like an 8-hour trip on the way home. So it didn't come to standstills, but it definitely was a slow version. So that's why we're saying just have your tanks filled, have those extra supplies on hand, that day if you're day tripping in, because it's going to be a long ride home.
Okay. So as a local, like for example, my wife works in healthcare, and the eclipse is on a Monday. She works on Tuesday. And she has a job, like, no matter what, she's expected to show up to work.
Right.
Like, they may even ask her to come a few days early, and like they've asked people to do that before if they feel like, hey, if you can't come in for weather, you have to show up to the hospital a few days early.
Yeah, and they make you sleep there. Hey.
Yeah. So what should we expect? Say so before we get to the eclipse. Really, that whole weekend is going to be busy. There's a lot of events going on. So say that Friday.
We
What are you
really
expecting
don't
to see?
foresee much change on like Friday, and then we think it'll be a trickle in process over Saturday and Sunday. Kind of slow trickles in is what we're seeing with the hotel check-ins, because we're working with the hotels to see when the majority of people are coming in. So slow to come in on Saturday and Sunday, and then for sure Sunday night to Monday. So we're expecting the worst on Monday. If there's any high rates at the hospitals and things like that, we're really just looking at a Monday. Traffic really crazy Monday, exit Monday. And we really think by Tuesday morning things will be back to normal. So as you've probably heard, the Russellville School District has made a call to go back to school on Tuesday since we had those snow days. So they're even going to go back knowing that they can alter that morning if they need to. So, but we kind of expect it'll be back to normal by Tuesday morning.
Okay. So Monday is the worst of it.
Yes.
And then as far as stocking up on things, I've seen extremes on both sides, people not going to do anything, and then people also saying that you need like a bunch of food. So what are you doing? What are you personally doing to prepare for it?
Well,
How
I'm
much
going to
gas are you
live
gonna
out of
have?
my office for about the 4 days. So I'm probably a little different. So I'm going to be on my side by side trying to get around through town and make sure all of our guests are taken care of. But for the average person, we're really not wanting people to be fearful. It's not really an event to be fearful of. What we're saying is if you don't want to be out Saturday and Sunday, just go ahead and get gas, any of your necessities earlier in that week. It's not this thing where you have to go clear the grocery store out and have a 30-day supply just for a long weekend. So maybe like a day or two, just have some extra groceries where if you don't want to get out, you don't have to get out. If you need a prescription, don't wait till Saturday morning and try to get that prescription filled. Have it done earlier that week. If you can enjoy and stay home, stay home. But we highly encourage people to come downtown on Saturday. I can't ever promise you as the tourism director that we're going to be able to have the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in town again, the Weather Channel in town again, NASA in town, where you can come and hear from them, visit with them. They want you to come downtown. They're going to have glasses, stickers, all kinds of things. So I'm really telling locals, like, don't be fearful. Come around on Saturday or maybe Sunday afternoon, meet some of them while they're in town, while we've been given this great opportunity. And then if you want to stay home, Monday might be that day to stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to have your side by side.
I am.
Are you expecting, because I've been kind of figuring out what I'm going to be doing, and my current plan is to rent an e-bike from Jackalopes.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
plan.
I just want to be able to move throughout different parts of the town and get videos here and there.
That's a good plan.
So you think there's a possibility like roads might be a little
I just think it's going to be kind of
gridlocked?
crazy down here, which is where I'm going to be most of the time, just trying to help take care of the media. We do have like CBS and CNN and NBC, the Weather Channel, PBS will all be in town. So, and they'll be parked in the downtown area, participating in our press conferences and stay on presence on stage downtown and all that. So I'm just planning on kind of hanging out down here, and then so I do think traffic will just be thick. Not impossible, just kind of thick that weekend.
Okay.
But I do think an e-bike's a good choice.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. Jackalopes hooking me up with a good deal, so I guess if anyone else
That's exciting.
wants an
Go
e-bike, I
there,
think there's
yes.
one more in their fleet left. So you can go try to get on
Yeah.
that too. But yeah, I'm gonna try to. I don't really know what the video will. I don't have, and maybe this is a resource you have. I don't really know 100% what. There's a lot going on that weekend. Everyone's kind of I hear people putting on their own music festivals, events. But is there a good itinerary that y'all have put
Yes,
together?
that's a good question. So eclipserussellville.com is the official website that we're trying to push everything to. So if you're having an event and it's not on there, we just ask that you email us all the details on your event, and it's free for anybody within the city of Russellville and Pope County. And so we'll list it on there. We have events by the day, so you can see what the Saturday schedule is, the Sunday schedule, all the events with Moon Over Maine, and then all the events with the elopement going on at the soccer complex. Just all of that is on there, so you can see it by time breakdown, where the concerts are, and all those things are on there. And we just did that just for ease, and we just wanted everybody to know what was going on. So there's also, if you're looking to list property or rent property, those are on there as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, eclipserussellville.com. That's good to know. Definitely encourage people to go there. I heard the mayor say this the other day in a meeting. Y'all see this as a gift, really, a gift to the community.
It is.
An opportunity to boost the economy.
That's right. It is.
What happened to some other cities where this has happened? What kind of economic benefits did they see during and after?
That's good. That's a good question. So Hopkinsville had like 116,000, and they're a community a lot like our size. And so that's one of the things we're telling people. If you want to stay at home and just, that's fine. Like if you want to, if you're that personality and you just want away from it all, that's great. But if you have a business, especially a small business, take advantage of this opportunity. Come up with a way. Cook meals, do different things, sell something, make an eclipse shirt, but do something to take advantage of this opportunity. It is a gift. Not only is it going to be a cool experience that I don't know about you, but I've never seen an eclipse, so I'm excited to be able to take part in it, but as well be here to see our city shine, and hopefully people will do well with this, and there's not another one till like 2044 or 2045. And the craziness is it crosses, this one is going kind of up this way, and the other one crosses exactly and makes an X, and we're in that X.
Oh,
So
really?
both of those will like cross over Russellville. So I probably won't be the tourism director then, and Fred probably won't be the mayor then, but by 2045 there'll be another one. So that's kind of random. There'll be two.
Okay, another
Yeah.
opportunity.
You'll be here. You're young.
What? Okay, so if you were to say, Tal, this is what you should do. What should I do during the eclipse? Make the most of this opportunity.
Got that good radio voice. You've got the characteristic to be on camera and film. I would love to see you going around and doing some live opportunities, like the experience of it during that, and posting those so people that aren't here could experience like what's going on. But I would love for you and people like you to do that and put it out, because that's just a cool moment to share with the world if they're not here experiencing it. And also how well of a town we did. Like, how did we do hosting all these people? So I would love for that narrative to be shown.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the plan.
Good.
One more question I had about the eclipse specifically was, how do we know how many people came? How do you count that?
That's a good question.
How does that town Hopkinsville know it was 116,000 and not 150?
I don't really know how they got their numbers. That'd be a good question. And I have spoken to a lady that was their Christie Graham of their town. And since then she's left, so I can't call her back. But, through hotel reservations, through all these camping sites, we can just try to get head counts. I'm sure the state will have those little tracking things down, like how many people are on roads and different things, which doesn't give you the exact numbers. But I don't know that we'll have an exact number on that. Right. But through our hotel and lodging and some of that, surely we'll have a pretty close idea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe law enforcement or something was counting, or somebody was counting cars, maybe,
Yes.
And then kind of guessing off of that.
Yes.
And then after the fact, we kind of talked about maybe during. Did Hopkinsville or these other cities, did they see any difference to their economy a year later? Did people?
I do think it's gotten a lot of attention, and that's been one of as the tourism director, I've said that over and over. I really hope that these people come and enjoy Russellville so much that they came for the eclipse for 3 or 4 days of the eclipse, but they definitely come back to see all the other things we have, and it puts us on the map as a destination for them to come back and see. Come back, ride our trails, come back and canoe or kayak, or come to the lake, or, visit our 4 state parks that we have here just really close. So there's opportunities. I really hope that they are like, we like this area, and the people are really friendly. We're known as a friendly community. I get that all the time from the fishermen to different people that come to town. So I'm sure we'll do well, and hopefully we can get some of those people back.
Yeah. No, Russellville, growing up, I always wanted to leave. Mm-hmm. Not because I didn't like it here, but, well, especially, when I was in high school and junior high, that's been 10, 15 years ago. There was less to do, and that's changed a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot more has come to town. But I also I traveled a little bit, liked those places, but I've come to realize that we're in a really cool spot.
We really are.
You can do mountain biking, you can do rock climbing, you can skydive, you can fly. those are the things I like to do. And then there's all the other stuff too. But it's like, yeah,
I just think the natural beauty too. Like, so
hike. Yeah.
I was on a trip one time out of the country, and you could go on these ATVs and ride these ATVs. So we took this trip, and it just went in a circle. Like, and my husband and I were like, I think this is the 8th time around we've been on this same little loop. But we grew up on ATVs, so we were like, this is kind of nothing. But we were sitting next to a couple next to us, and they were like, that was the best thing I've ever done. And I've never forgotten that trip as the tourism director, because it just showed me they were from New York, like big city. And they got to go ride ATVs and thought it was like the grandest thing. So I've tried to always take, just remember, like, don't take all that we have for granted, the things that we see. And that's why people from big cities love to come see all the natural beauty we have. And we take it for granted. And what do? We go to the big cities to see the big cities. So, I think we have such a hidden gem here. I as well moved off after college. And then when I started having a family, what I want to do, I came back home because this is where I wanted to raise my family. Low crime rates, good people, it's just that hometown feel. And that's what I wanted my kids to be raised in. So I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you start the is it I Heart Russellville or I Love Russellville?
It's I Love Russellville.
Okay.
And yes, I did start it. I started it right as COVID hit. I'm sure everybody remembers a little bit of a negative thing we had going on, and there was just the big thing, the casino talks. And it was all so negative all the time. And I just knew that there's so many other things to talk about. And so we started the I Heart campaign, and then COVID hit. But even through the downfall of, all that and COVID, and it just stuck. And, I kind of thought it might hang around for 6 or 8 months, kind of as just a campaign, and it's here to stay. So it's just been a fun experience to see everybody grab a hold. It's on every door you walk in, there's a sticker. It's on a water tower. I mean, when you make it on a water tower, you've made it, right? So, so I'm sure there's some country song about it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I thought was really cool is before we had ever met, I noticed y'all didn't buy the website because y'all were using Discover Russellville.
And I was like, why did I not do that?
It was cool you didn't get mad, because some people, it would have been understandable. Maybe like, oh, what is it?
It was my fault.
Yeah. So that was cool.
But we're working together through it.
Yeah. Now we're working together.
And you did cool things with it. If you wouldn't have been doing cool things with it, then maybe. But you were doing good stuff with it.
Yep. Well, thank you. Thank you. So the tour, like, what is your main goal being the executive director of tourism? Where do you want Russellville to go?
My goal is to bring people to Russellville, whether it's just for a day or two, for a week, for a softball tournament, baseball tournament, a fishing tournament, a disc golf tournament. If you want to ride trails, I'm always looking for new events. My husband thinks I'm a complete dork most of the time, but one day my son played football, and we were at a 7-on-7 in Greenbrier, and all these referees were everywhere, black and white shirts everywhere. And there's usually like 10 or 12 for the day. Well, there's like 120. So I sat till about noon and couldn't take it anymore. And I went down. I said, who's running this event? And my husband said, what are you doing? And I said, if they can get this event here in Greenbrier, I want it in Russellville. So I went and met the guy that ran this NFL referee camp. His name is Wes Booker. And so we got a partnership, and over 6 months, I convinced him to come to Russellville. And this year will be our 3rd event where the NFL collegiate referees come in to do their camp each summer. And there's like 300 of them that come in. There's like 50 guys that review for the NFL camera, learning their new rules and procedures and all that. And they'll be here in Russellville in June. So we've been able to host that. This will be our 3rd year.
Wow.
So that's my goal, is to find those events and try to get them to come to Russellville.
Okay, let's break down why you do that, though, like the benefits that it brings to the area, because some people are going to hear that and they'll see the benefits instantly, and other people are going to hear that and be like, I don't want my town to grow. There's this, people don't like change. People like the small town vibes.
So what's funny about what you just said is Dr. Megan Selman is the chamber president, and I'm on the chamber board. And so we talk all the time, and she wants people to move here, and she wants businesses to move here permanently. And my theory is I want them to come here, spend money, but I want them to go home. So that's kind of our difference in our laugh all the time. Yep. But I want them to come here and spend money. I want them to help pay taxes, which, as we all know, helps build roads, helps the school district, helps all those things. But in the end, I like to see them go home. I don't want them to really stay. I love our community as it is, but I want them to have an economic impact for our community.
Yeah, well, that's good, because supports small businesses, right?
That's right. That's right.
And sort of, so I found this thing the other day. I don't think you're necessarily involved with it, but maybe you know a bit about it. It was called the 5-Year Plan for Downtown Russellville. And it was on the Main Street Russellville's website. And for some reason, I was on there and I saw it. And it was last updated in 2013, so it's not completely up to date, but it's like a 100-page document. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Or not really?
I have not that I'm sure. Not that
Well,
I'm aware of.
it had a photo in there of like what they envisioned downtown looking like. And it was a bunch of green trees, and it looked really walkable, more centered around the person and not the automobile. And it's okay. I know you're not involved with that organization, but do you have any? Are you keyed in anywhere as far as the type of town we're building moving forward, the type of things? I know we brought in the Greenway trails recently. I don't know if you were involved with that, but those are cool.
Yes, so
I'd love to see more of that.
I think that I know more of the plans that we have on trails system and through Parks and Rec, just because I help with Parks and Rec so much within like Hickey and Pleasant View, and we're always helping give money to those to make sure that those are like, we helped with some of the windscreens, and we've helped do different things at some of the complexes. So I'm more involved in that aspect than in the dynamics of what's went on in the changes in the downtown. I'm all behind it and I'm for it, but I've been more on that aspect of making sure our fields are the way they need to be, that we need a turf, that we need the right things to be able to bring that side of things in, I guess. So
Yeah.
no, not really.
Are you involved in? I heard there's soccer complexes coming, or some indoor.
So
I don't know if that's public or privately owned. I don't know.
I think that's some private individuals looking at some of that indoor soccer that are hoping to get that,
That's just
maybe
a
with some
rumor.
public funds. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it as well. If I had a next guess, I'd probably say trying to get some more lighting at the soccer complex in the fields, upgraded a little bit. I know they've been working really hard and they've come a long ways with that. But the more lit fields we have, then I can get more tournaments here. So I look at things like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I need lights there. Ooh, I need pickleball courts. Oh, I need so I look at things like that.
Yeah, no, all that stuff is great, and y'all, we've seen as just a city, I guess, the new, what's that park called over by? I guess it's City Park, right? The
Yes.
splash pads, and
Yes.
here they're redoing the pool at Hickey Park. They may already be on
Yes.
that. I don't know. Do you have anything to do with the skate park?
Originally, the AMP
Marvin Park.
did donate some money to that originally. That's been a while back, but we did actually give some money to some of that. So if it's a park and it can draw people in, we're all about it. So yes.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a forward question, and you may have a lead for me or not. But what would be really cool, I think, for the skate park is to have an organization. I don't know what organization, but it'd be cool to see that really like painted, almost in like a mural sense. But right now there's just
I've
a bunch
seen
of
some like
there's
that,
a lot of
yes.
senseless graffiti out there. The kids will get out. But I feel like if there was a more artistic like layout, they wouldn't. Hopefully not vandalize it, because then it has some art already there.
Right.
What would have to happen? Like if somebody, John, wanted to get it painted, who would he need to contact at the city?
I think you would just need to go through Parks and Rec, because that is a city park that they maintain. And I think all you'd have to do is just propose maybe some of what you're wanting to do. And then especially if you provide an organization that's willing to help facilitate that, or an organization that'll donate the work towards it, I think you just have to get them to approve that. And I think they would. I think it'd be a cool project.
Okay. Well, I'll take note of
And
that.
you know
maybe.
me, I'm all about murals and getting things painted.
Yeah.
So yes, for sure.
Yeah. Can we talk just for a brief moment about all the murals that you've helped facilitate and
Yes.
things that we have coming regarding the art in Russellville?
Sure, yeah. So when the I Heart Russellville started, that was the first mural I wanted to put, especially in the downtown. And so we found a building, and we got Daniel Freeman, and we jumped over there and got that kick started, and that was number one. And then the leadership project, I got to go in and propose some murals to them, and they accepted that as their leadership project. So then we were able to get 4 more, one at Lake Dardanelle State Park, one that you can see from City Park. It's a black and white. It has a bike on it if you're on that trail or at City Park. One is at out when you get off the interstate towards London, that big blue one. So they did either 3 or 4 big murals projects within that leadership group that year, which really kicked things off. And then I helped facilitate the one at First Security Bank, the butterfly. And Daniel also painted that one. I know there's a couple in the works and a couple more that have happened since then. And that was the hope, is that if we got some of these going, some more would just start. And they have. The one behind Joshua, the one behind Garden Sass. You said you saw one behind Jackalope. So, I mean, they're just really popping up. I think on the Innovation Hub that they're talking about painting that whole sidewall. So, I mean, I know there's talk of multiple right now in town. And so another new project, once we kind of got that kicked off, we moved on, and Nick Oots and I just started talking about the electrical boxes. And so we took it to the mayor. We established a committee, and as you've probably seen and read, we're working on getting some electrical boxes right before the eclipse. I think you'll see like 5 or 6.
Awesome. Yeah, I did hear about that. Nick Oots, that's Sign Hub?
Yes, it is the Sign Hub.
Okay.
So Nick's
Yeah,
really
they do
helped
good
us.
work. I've
They
seen that.
have. And that was kind of his baby, and he approached me and then started seeing them, and it took us about a year to actually get a meeting together, but once we did, it's moved fast. So it's exciting.
Well, that's great to see. That's great to see. Christy, do you think there's anything else that we should use this time and platform to talk about and tell people about?
No, I just want them to be involved and just know and be aware of everything going on with the eclipse. And again, don't be fearful. Come down and be a part. I mean, it's history right here for Russellville. I can never give you another event like this before. And my one question that I'll leave you with is, somebody asked me the other day, why did I choose a Monday for the eclipse? So
Why'd you choose Monday?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how to answer that. So yes.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Go to eclipserussellville.com to learn more about the events coming up, the days they're happening, where to happen, and I'm sure you can. I think I've been on the website before. You even have videos on there with the mayor on like how to get prepared and things like that. So
We sure do.
definitely go do that. Thank you, Christy, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Really
Enjoy it.
appreciated it, and
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Yeah, for sure.